The boy had barely set his foot on the edge of the sidewalk when his dog suddenly lunged forward, grabbed his sleeve, and pulled him violently backward. People around them screamed. Just 1 second later, a runaway truck came crashing into the exact spot where the boy had been standing. Ethan Scott, 12 years old, lived with his mother in a small town called Franklin in the state of Tennessee. Ethan wasn't like other kids his age. He was born blind. His entire world was made of sounds, scents, and the vibrations he felt beneath his fingertips. His mother, Mrs. Laura, worked as an elementary school teacher. She was a strong woman who always wore a gentle smile, though her eyes often carried a hint of worry. Every morning, she would walk Ethan to the bus stop for the special school for blind children, about 3 miles from their home. Their life was quiet, simple, until Ethan's birthday that year. Because that year, Ethan received a gift that no one could have imagined would change his entire life. A local charity gave Ethan a guide dog, a beautiful Labrador retriever named Buddy. Buddy had golden fur that shone in the sunlight, deep black eyes full of intelligence, and ears that folded softly whenever he heard Ethan's voice. From the very first moment they met, Ethan knelt down, hugged Buddy, and beamed the biggest smile. His small hands brushed through Buddy's soft fur, like he was touching sunlight itself. From that day on, Buddy officially became Ethan's eyes. You wouldn't believe how smart Buddy was. All Ethan had to say was, "Buddy, school," and Buddy would guide him perfectly, stopping at every intersection, pausing at red lights, and carefully navigating busy sidewalks. Yet, it was also around this time that Laura started noticing strange things about Buddy's behavior. Every time they passed a certain corner near a construction site, Buddy would let out soft whimpers and tremble slightly. He still led Ethan safely past, but once they returned home, Buddy would lie on the floor, eyes worried, ears flat against his head. Laura often wondered, is he trying to warn us about something, but about what? And then, that day arrived. One sunny morning, Ethan set out with Buddy, as usual, to go to the bus stop. Laura had to stay home that day for an urgent online meeting. Buddy led Ethan across 2 streets. Everything seemed normal, until they reached the corner near the construction site. Buddy suddenly froze, the fur along his back standing on end. Ethan said, "Come on, Buddy," but Buddy didn't move. In that instant, a piercing noise shattered the air. A massive truck burst out of the construction site, out of control, its engine roaring like an angry beast. It barreled straight toward where Ethan was standing, tires screeching across the pavement. Ethan had no idea what was happening. Everything took place in just 2 seconds. Buddy lunged forward, bit down on Ethan's sleeve, and yanked the boy backward with all his strength. A fraction of a second later, the truck plowed through the sidewalk, smashing a street sign as people nearby screamed in terror. Without Buddy, Ethan would surely have been dragged under those wheels. Can you imagine a dog saving a blind boy's life in the blink of an eye? When Laura arrived at the scene, she wrapped Ethan in her arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Buddy stood beside them, his eyes still wide and shaken, but when Ethan knelt down, gently stroked Buddy's head, and whispered, "Good boy, Buddy, my hero." Buddy nestled his head into Ethan's chest and let out a deep sigh, as if finally able to relax. Police later discovered that the truck's brakes had failed. The driver had jumped out just in time, but the vehicle kept rolling uncontrollably. What sent chills down everyone's spine was this. The spot that Buddy had always feared was the same place where the truck's mechanical issues had first started. Nobody noticed, except Buddy. Buddy wasn't just Ethan's eyes. Buddy was his guardian angel. From that day forward, the entire neighborhood knew about the golden dog who saved the life of a little boy who couldn't see the world, but who had the entire world watching over him. Because sometimes, a dog's love isn't just loyalty. It's the gift of seeing dangers that humans can't even imagine. And that's the end of today's story. If this story touched your heart, please leave a like, share it to support us, and don't forget to subscribe to SoulPaw Stories 5 for more videos about miraculous animal stories, heroic dogs, and the moments that remind us that miracles still exist in this world. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next video.